Welcome. Fiery trap has been the talk of the town recently, as Ukraine successfully turned the tables on Russia's perfect plan. The situation started when the Russian army began its invasion of Ukraine by sending ships to the Black Sea to attack the coastal city of Odessa. But little did they know that this move would backfire spectacularly and end up making a fiery trap for their own forces. So how exactly did Ukraine pull off this stunt, and what are the implications of this event for the ongoing war between these two countries? The Ukrainian military has just ambushed a Russian landing ship with a Neptune missile in the Black Sea, destroying it. This is according to the report from the Institute for the Study of War, which cited Ukrainian sources claiming that the warship was hit by a Ukrainian missile after crossing into Ukrainian territorial waters. However, Russia has not yet commented on this incident. Meanwhile, the United States Navy released a statement regarding this recent attack in which they expressed their support for Ukraine's right to defend itself against Russian aggression. According to them, the warship in question was part of an amphibious-ready group that had sailed from Sevastopol in occupied Crimea earlier in the day. They added that it was unclear if any other vessels were involved in the attack, but that initial reports indicated only one ship had been hit. But before we continue with the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe so you won't miss any new updates. The reason why the U.S. Navy got involved in this issue is because they have been tracking the movements of these ships since they left port. In fact, at the time of writing this article, there are still 11 Russian warships in the Black Sea, although most of them are positioned off the coast of Crimea rather than near Odessa. This includes 3 landing ships, 6 surface combatants, and 2 submarines. The incident occurred during a larger Russian offensive in southern Ukraine that saw Moscow's forces launch multiple missile attacks across the country. The Ukrainian military said it shot down 29 out of 35 cruise missiles fired into Ukraine overnight, as well as all 7 out of 7 Iskander and ballistic missiles. Meanwhile, debris from some of the intercepted missiles fell over Romanian territory without causing any damage or casualties, according to Romania's defense ministry. It's important to note here that while such attacks are common, it's unusual for Russian ships to sail so close to the Ukrainian coast without engaging in active hostilities. Typically, Russian warships stay further out at sea and launch missiles from longer ranges, where they are less vulnerable to Ukrainian counterattacks. The development comes amid increased tensions between Russia and Ukraine over control of the Black Sea, which has been closed to civilian shipping since Russia invaded its neighbor in February 2022. Earlier this month, Moscow announced plans to withdraw from a UN-backed deal allowing Ukrainian grain exports through the Black Sea despite intense international pressure. The Kremlin called the agreement, which expires on July 17, a temporary humanitarian exception, and warned that if the West kept impeding Russian food exports, it could be extended. Russia's defense ministry also claimed that British military intelligence services plotted with Ukraine to stage an attack on July that would use civilian vessels disguised as a humanitarian convoy to bring weapons into Odessa. The ministry said it had thwarted the plan and released images of captured documents purportedly detailing the scheme, though there has been no independent verification of the claim. On Sunday, explosions were reported in the Russian-controlled Crimean Peninsula, which Moscow said were caused by air defenses shooting down Ukrainian drones. The strikes come as Kyiv vowed to take back control of the peninsula, which Russia annexed in 2014, as part of its broader goal of defeating Moscow's military in what it calls a special military operation. However, despite Ukraine's vow to retake control of the peninsula, it is unlikely to happen anytime soon. This is due to a number of factors, including the strength of Russia's defensive positions in the region, the lack of Ukrainian military infrastructure in Crimea itself, and the difficulty of mounting a successful amphibious assault. In addition, it should be noted that Crimea is of great strategic importance to Russia, as it provides access to the Black Sea and allows Moscow to project power into the Mediterranean. As such, it is highly unlikely that Russia would be willing to give up control of the peninsula without a fight. However, it is possible that Ukraine could attempt to retake Crimea in order to demonstrate its commitment to the territorial integrity of Ukraine. Moreover, doing so would also allow Kiev to regain control of vital military infrastructure located there, such as a naval base in Sevastopol, which is home to the majority of Russia's Black Sea fleet. In conclusion, while it is unlikely that Ukraine will attempt to retake Crimea anytime soon, the possibility remains that they may do so in order to prove their commitment to the territorial integrity of Ukraine and regain control of vital military infrastructure located in the peninsula. It remains to be seen what Russia's reaction would be if Ukraine does attempt to retake Crimea, but it is possible that Moscow would view such a move as an act of aggression and respond accordingly. All in all, the situation in the Black Sea remains tense, and any developments should be closely monitored, as they could have significant implications for regional stability. Now let's get back to the video. The New York Times reported that the Osipovich was carrying helicopters and other equipment to support ground troops battling Ukrainian forces in the south. The newspaper said it was not clear how many helicopters were on board, but witnesses reported seeing one Ka-50 helicopter and one Ka-29 helicopter on the deck of the ship when it was hit. According to the report, the attack happened about 60 miles off the coast of Odessa. Satellite imagery showed the severely damaged ship docked at a pier in the occupied Crimean Peninsula, which Russia annexed from Ukraine in 2014. The U.S. official said the United States does not consider the attack a major escalation, although they admitted that Russia typically keeps a large force of naval vessels in the Black Sea. The official added that Russia has not demonstrated an ability to conduct large-scale amphibious operations in the Black Sea and does not appear to be attempting to do so now. The report came after weeks of speculation about a possible Russian amphibious assault in the Odessa region. U.S. officials said the Pentagon had been tracking the Raptor and other Russian ships for several days as they moved toward the Ukrainian coast. However, American officials said they did not see any evidence that Russia was planning an invasion. A senior U.S. defense official told reporters last week that the Pentagon was closely watching the Raptor and other Russian ships moving toward Odessa, but the official said there was no indication that Russia had any imminent plans to invade. The official said the United States does not believe that Russia has any major amphibious assault capabilities in the Black Sea and has not seen any indication that Russia is attempting to establish such capabilities at this time. According to the report, the United States has been monitoring the situation closely because of concerns that Russia could attempt to seize territory along Ukraine's southern coast. If true, this would mark the first time Russia has attempted a major amphibious assault since the Soviet Union invaded and occupied the Baltic states in 1940. However, experts say that despite its size, Russia's navy is poorly equipped and trained to conduct large-scale amphibious operations. In addition to the concern about a potential Russian invasion, U.S. officials have also been concerned about the safety of commercial shipping in the Black Sea. Last month, Russia announced that it would withdraw from a deal that allows Ukraine to export grain through the Black Sea. The move raised fears of a food crisis as Ukraine is one of the world's largest exporters of wheat. However, the United Nations said on Monday that Russia had informed it of its decision to withdraw from the deal and that it was seeking clarification from Moscow. A UN spokesman said the world body hoped Russia would reconsider its decision, which he said would have serious consequences for global food security. On Sunday, Russia's defense ministry accused Ukraine of plotting to use civilian vessels disguised as a humanitarian convoy to bring weapons into Odessa. The ministry said it had thwarted the plan and released images of captured documents purportedly detailing the scheme. However, there has been no independent verification of the claim. In response to Russia's announcement, Ukraine's foreign ministry said it was deeply concerned about the safety of commercial shipping in the Black Sea and called on the international community to take measures to protect civilian vessels. As tensions rise in the Black Sea, the United States has deployed the USS Carney, a guided missile destroyer, to the region to conduct what it described as routine operations. The move was announced last week as part of a larger deployment of U.S. military assets to Europe in the wake of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. According to the U.S. Navy, the Carney will conduct operations with allies and partners in the Black Sea and the Mediterranean Sea before returning to its home port in Naples, Italy. So what do you guys think of this latest development? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And thank you for watching.